What up, YouTube? It's the YTBC student. Just want to get my thoughts on Amir Khan. Keep in mind, these are my current thoughts about the fighter Amir Khan. First off, I want to start off by saying I got respect for Amir Khan. As a person, definitely gotta have respect for somebody who, you know, takes the name that he's made for himself and raises money for charity. I got respect for anybody who does that, not just a fighter, but anybody who can make money and put back into the community. I got the utmost respect for that. As a fighter, still, I have respect for him. However, I do think that a lot of people tend to give him a lot more credit than what is actually due to him. Um, I mean, as far as wanting to fight Floyd Mayweather, dude's only had 3 fights in the welterweight division. Um, I just don't feel, and with the people he has fought, he fought Luis Collazo, which is his first fight in welterweight. Devin Alexander, who is actually his most notable fight because just of Devin Alexander's caliber and where he's at. And then Chris Algieri, who Amir Khan was Chris Algieri's first welterweight fight. So, I mean, if you're fighting other welterweights that you're basically introducing them to the division, how in the world are you going to be, you know, fighting the top welterweight in the world? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, granted, I will say we can't just discredit his whole career before he became a welterweight, but you can't take each fight at its merit. All you can say is he's taken down some of the bigger names and fought some of the bigger names at 140, but now we're at 147. It's a whole different division. You can't just say, well, he beat Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana at 140 is not the same Marcos Maidana at 147. You know, uh, muscle weighs more than fat, and that's 7 pounds of muscle. That makes a world of difference. But anyways, um, I mean, the other thing about Amir Khan is that he has a very bad tendency to foul his opposition. I mean, it's ridiculous, like how often he gets deducted points, and then there's other times where he should be getting deducted points and he's not. So the times that he's getting deducted points, I don't think that it's unjustified. And then there's times where he should be getting deducted points when he's not. So, for instance, first fight I ever seen of his was Lamont Peterson. I mean, go back and watch the fight. Need I say more? I mean, dude got 2 points deducted for the same thing. This is boxing. It's not a pushing match, and it's not WWE. You're not supposed to be putting these dudes in headlocks. Same thing with Collazo. He had a point deducted because he's, putting Collazo in a headlock. He's pushing him, and the ref had no choice but to deduct the point. So, I mean, and it happens consistently. I mean, just watch any of his fights. Watch him fight Chris Algieri, second round. I can't remember how far into the round right off the top of my head, but I do know it was the second round. He straight up hugged his head. That's not boxing. But I will say this, he is a good fighter. I will say that he is a world-class fighter. I'm not just hating on Amir Khan. I think Amir Khan has a lot of talent. I do think that he needs to work on his defense because the way Chris Algieri was tagging him up, that's not good. And lucky for him, Chris Algieri is not, he's not a devastating puncher. Let Kell Brook or Keith Thurman or Sean Porter be able to tag him up like that. I see a knockout before the fifth round. I mean, that's just my take on Amir Khan. I am open to insight. You know, I do think he's a good person. I do think he's a good fighter. I just think he needs to work on his fouling. I think is probably the biggest thing. Doing doing things that'll get points deducted from you. And if he could cut back on that, it's only going to make him a better fighter. It's only going to make him look more impressive, because you don't look impressive when all you do is hold, when you're putting headlocks on these dudes, or when you're pushing to the point where you're getting points deducted for this stuff. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest thing he has working against him. I do think that he needs to fight some more people in the welterweight division before he can start feeling that entitlement. Um, I will say that I do think he deserves a Floyd fight. I just don't think that he deserves it ahead of others. There's other people in the division that have put in a lot more work and are just more impressive in the division that definitely deserve it more than Khan. So, what are your thoughts on Amir Khan as a fighter? I'm open up to anybody's opinion. All I ask is that you be respectful. We can joke around, we can have fun, but yeah, I want to know what people think about Amir Khan. I've had some people tell me their opinions before, and I mean, the biggest thing I hear is he fights the best, but I mean, I just don't see it. Yeah, he fought the best at 140. At 147, I can't say the same. So I just want to know, where people are at on Amir Khan. And